Hello and welcome to Mellow Labs. If you were expecting a project video, unfortunately this is not it. This is a sort of end of year recap. I did one last year and I figured I might as well do one this year just to, just kind of have a check-in, see how things are going. If you want a project video, there'll be one out in January. I'll see you then. In general, just thank you for watching. Thank you for being a subscriber. My channel has been through a lot this year. We've doubled in size, more than doubled in size, which is insane. More than 11,000 people decided to click a button under my video, which is not at all any kind of pressure at all. But thank you all. It's honestly been amazing. It's one thing doing what you like and one thing being paid for doing what you like. So when I became a YouTube partner, I think that happened this year or just late last year. I honestly can't remember. It just means I get a small portion of ad revenue and YouTube subscriptions, but I honestly couldn't be happier. I do what I like for almost a living. We're not quite there yet, but it's getting there. So in general, this is just a huge thank you video to everybody who subscribed, everybody who watches, anybody who likes, comments, supports me on Patreon. I honestly, these people are absolutely amazing. I talk to them as often as I can. Some of these people have become my very good friends. Sponsorships like JLC PCB. This is actually my first ever PCB design in this box here, and I'm excited to assemble it. I'm just grateful that you and companies and people are able to support me in doing what I like. I would be making things if I wasn't making YouTube videos as well, just like I did before. I'd just be making cool stuff that I think is cool. Cool stuff that I think is cool. Well done, ace sentence. But the fact that I get to make a video and show people and actually get paid for it is absolutely incredible. And I cannot thank you enough. Yeah, there's a few people I want to thank in general. First of all, my partner, who's been with me for 11, 12 years now. It's been so long we both don't remember. But just thank you. Yeah, they've been there for me when I needed it. I've been there for them when they needed it. And the fact that they put up with me recording in the same room as them, basically directly in front of them, for however long this has been going on, I'm honestly surprised they haven't worked out yet, but I'm grateful they haven't, because I wouldn't be here in the capacity that I am without them. So thank you. I want to say thank you to Joseph for just being an amazing friend whose friendship I'm very grateful for, and I try incredibly hard not to be the kind of friend who's always like, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Because Joseph is the kind of person that would absolutely do those things for me. Just driving back and forth from conventions and stuff like that, I would not be able to go to them without him, because he is he's a driver, and I probably overuse that. So anytime you see me at a convention and Joseph is with me, just thank him for being in a car for upwards of 4 hours with me at a time. Yeah, just please tell him thank you. Also, Joseph has a full 3D printing business on the side. I don't know if any of you know this, because I don't think he's ever mentioned it in any of the live streams, nor have I mentioned it in a video. I will have a video pointing it out soon, a proper video, not this. But yeah, Joseph has a 3D printing business on the side where you can go to his site, upload your STLs or whatever, and he will print them and send them to you. That is a business he has on the side that he just doesn't mention a lot. So I'll leave a link down below. Please check him out. Please use the site if you can, because I can't pay him, but you might be able to. So yeah, promoting his stuff is the least I can do. And yes, I know they have a 3D printing service as well, but I'm not gonna get something shipped all the way from China if I only need a 10-cent piece. the logistics of that are ridiculous. So yeah, please support Joseph, because I technically can't, and he's been an incredible friend. So yeah. I also the other people I need to thank are Cloud. He knows what he did. I don't want to talk too publicly about it. My parents, who've just been hugely supportive. For some reason, their son quitting his job with like 300 subscribers didn't ring too many alarm bells, which I should really have a talk with them about that, but whatever. Yeah, my mum watches my videos. I think my dad watches my videos. They both support me on Patreon, which is just basically pocket money at this point. Thank you. Yeah, my niece, my nephew, they watch the videos too. I don't know why, but they do. So yeah, just in general, thank you to everyone who watches my videos, who supports me, who likes, comments, even if it's literally just those liking and commenting. Like, the fact that the algorithm has been pushing me to so many people has been amazing, and I truly hope I don't have a video that is a absolute like millions of views runaway success, because I had a conversation with James Bruton at one point. I think it was during the Maker Central live stream, where we talked about him having a video that was hugely popular. Like, people would come, watch the video, subscribe, and then they would never go to watch any of the other videos, which in YouTube terms is a problem, because then YouTube will notice that people subscribe just for this one video, and then it won't push your videos to the same people or new people, because they're like, oh, you're just a one-hit wonder. So I truly hope I never have a one-hit wonder success kind of thing. I hope that it just continues growing at the rate at which it is, which is about 5,000 per year, which is so far amazing. I do hope it speeds up a little bit, because paying rent and stuff like that is an issue, but I love what I do. I'm glad you guys love what I do. And also, if you're that one person who comments things like I love you, or like you're so handsome, thank you. I do appreciate it. I do have a partner, and also I don't know how to reply to those comments, because how do you reply to those comments? But thank you. I'm in a very committed relationship. Thanks. So yeah. In terms of things like my JOC sponsorship, some people ask like, what are the terms? It's honestly as simple as it gets. They pay me to have a thing in the video. Like, they just pay for the ad, and that's kind of it. They don't look at like the contents of the video. I think they pretty much just check whether the ad is actually in the video, and then that's it. I've not had a single issue, and they don't give me like a verbatim script. They're just like, hey, we have this promotion going on, mention it. And you'll notice that I've just reused mostly the same integration over and over, if you do watch them instead of just skipping them. Just because like that's the kind of relationship we have. It's just like, yeah, we just want the ad in there in the first half of the video, I think they specifically do. And that's kind of it. You can say whatever you want and do whatever you want. We just pay for the ad. And honestly, I couldn't be more thankful, because that's the kind of relationship I like. This episode is brought to you by JOC PCB, your one-stop shop for your electrical and mechanical project needs. JOC PCB offers services such as 3D printing, CNC milling, and of course, PCB prototyping and component sourcing, so everything you need to get your project going is available on JOC PCB. And their website is super easy to use. Simply head over to JOC PCB, select which service you'd like to use, and drag and drop your design files and get an instant quote. And don't forget to use the code MELLOWLABS at checkout. You can get professional prototype PCB boards for as little as $2. And right now, JOC PCB is offering a $30 coupon on their 6-layer PCBs. So you can get a high quality, multi-layer PCB starting from just $5. Thank you again to JOC PCB for sponsoring this episode. Check out the link in the description for more information. There's been a couple weird sponsorships that have not worked out for me. You'll notice that there's a few reviews that I've actually deleted. In fact, the entire Mellow Labs review channel, or Mellow Reviews, has basically just laid dormant, which that's fine. I'm not going back to it. I've kind of reassessed how I do things from that point. Yeah, that whole channel was just a turn in the wrong direction. So yeah, I'm gonna try to mostly just integrate my my ads into my projects. There might be one or two that come out that I've agreed to beforehand, so we'll see. Maybe I can, you know, swerve them into a project instead, but we'll see. But yeah, that's kind of it. In terms of Patreon peeps, I try to post my videos as soon as I'm ready to have them out in the world. Sometimes I release them without like color correction, so I apologize. It's because I do plan doing a lot more for you guys. I do want to do some kind of maybe weekly or on the weekend live stream that's just for my Patreons or Discord people, just because I do appreciate the support, and there's not a lot I can personally do. Like, I can't send out loads of thank you cards because that's not in the budget. That's expensive. But if you guys have ideas for what you want me to do better for my Patreon supporters, please do let me know. And if there's any other kinds of questions you guys have about future projects, about past projects, again, do let me know. And again, just a huge general thank you. Now, I do want to finish off by just doing like a quick 1 out of 10 review for the videos I've done over the year. You don't have to stick around for this part, but if you do, I'll probably share some interesting insights. Okay, so after the last thank you video, the first video that released was the automatic battery charger, which was a V2? Yeah, V2. I had an interesting project idea. I did it, then I did it again, but slightly better. And now somebody turned it into a product. I don't know if it's specifically inspired by me, but there is a automatic battery charger out there now. I think there's actually multiple now that I think about it. But yeah, I don't know if it's any good. I don't know if it's like shipping. I don't know if it was a Kickstarter or something. I just saw it in my Instagram reel feed, and I was like, oh, that's cool. That looks somewhat what I've done. And then I just kind of left it there. But yeah, it's an actual thing that you can kind of buy now. So whether I make a version free is yet to be decided. Let me know if you want a version free. Give me a shout. All right, I need to give this a score. I'd give it a 5. I don't think it's a particularly like innovative idea or project. In some cases, I just like having a project where the only like actual thing in it is just me trying to figure out how to do something, because that's what I like doing, just figuring out a problem. Sometimes the problem is very stupid, cut to most of my projects, but in most cases I just like doing them because I'm learning. The next video that came out after that was the toy claw machine one, which still lives. It's over there. That one I have mixed feelings about. I give the video about 6 out of 10. It's a collaboration piece between me and my partner, and it took a long time to get it finished, and we both lost interest in it like 3 times. But I can't really be mad at that video, because that is the video in which I met Joseph. So I went to the repair cafe with Matt and Molly, and yeah, we were both there. We just kind of ended up clicking. Also, I had no idea Molly was gonna give me such a big segment in this video. That was very mind-blowing. I'm very grateful for that. If for some reason, if you're watching this, Molly, thank you. The video after did I give that a score? I did. Okay, cool. The video after that was the last minute Valentine's Day present, which I did with Make It For Less, who is just, again, a great person. I apologize greatly for giving him the shit part of the project, because I basically just went, I'll make the enclosure and you do all the code. And yeah, that is a horrible thing to do for somebody. I'm so sorry. Maybe in the future we can collaborate on something where it's the other way around, where you do the interesting part, because I'm sorry, yeah, but all in all, fun video. I still get comments about it every so often. I'd give that video a 6 out of 10, just because I really feel bad for giving Making for Less just the code part of that video, which he did a great job of. I don't know if you watched this video, but he did do a really good job of explaining how it works and all of that. So kudos to him. Just I will link the video in the description. Go check him out. He's great. After that, we had the Home Assistant controlled taser. Oh no, that's a Patreon exclusive. Yes, I made a Home Assistant controlled taser. Check it out on Patreon. It was actually Electronics Not for Beginners from Elecrow. They sent me like a kit that I still have. It's very annoying actually, because it still ends up being in the way. But like it was a little car kind of toy, but the box also included a whole bunch of other sensors and stuff. I think the box ended up costing like 70 quid, which is quite a lot considering for the most part you're just getting some sensors and I think a Pico. Yeah, it was controlled by a Pico. Honestly, I still don't fully recommend that kit. You don't really need the car. Just if you need a sensor kit, you can probably get cheap ones for like 25 quid on Amazon and grab a microcontroller, because the cheapest, oh god, anything, just a D1 Mini or even a Raspberry Pi Pico W, they're just so cheap. Just yeah, I still don't fully recommend that kit. Video review wise, I'd give that a video a solid 4. Also, I don't like editing them, because it ended up being like, I want to say 4 to 5 hours worth of footage. Sorry, single camera footage. We had 3 cameras going on that, so like having to go through, pick out interesting parts, and then pick out what part looked good from what angle, and then yeah, I didn't like that. That video broke my brain a little. I try not to do them anymore. Like, I'm very conscious of when I have to do vloggy style videos, a little bit like this, where I'm just like, oh god, this is gonna be shitty.
I accidentally forgot to mention this video whilst recording. It's a good video. I give it about a 7 out of 10. Pretty average for me. I'm a little disappointed that Smart Home Everything didn't mention it in his smart desk upgrade video for his studio. But, you know, whatever. Also, I've left the list of all of the video names in the description. So if you want to just copy and paste them and give me your reviews, feel free.
Okay, right after that, we had the perfect temperature tea for hours. I need to change that video title because that is not a very catchy one. But that was the first video on which I got 3 parts from DF Robot, who emailed me recently because I've not been in touch with them for a while. I got like a whole bunch of stuff for future projects from them, and then just didn't talk to them for a bit, and they were like, hey, you still okay? And I'm like, yeah, I just still have parts, so I might email them because I'm running out of, I think, ESP32s. But yeah, video-wise, I think that's an 8 out of 10. I love that video. It's just, it was just fun. I still have it. I've got the shorter model of it that I did on the live stream because I got rid of the fan, which I realized I didn't really need because, you know, I mean, I don't use the project at all basically now because I drink my tea faster than it goes cold. So a little bit redundant, but again, it was an interesting experiment. After that, we had the DIY smart glasses, and that was an April Fool's video. The amount of people on Reddit and in the comments that didn't understand that it was an April Fool's video worried me. And I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, apart from that, I think it was a funny video. I give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was just... I put it together in a day and recorded it in another day, and it just worked so perfectly. I had a different idea planned for that April Fool's, but it kind of ended up falling through. I wanted to make a DIY smart folding chair, but something about it just didn't work out, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not having an April Fool's video. But then I started working on the video that came after that, which was the teabag grabbing robot, and I was like, oh, this could pinch my nose. Wait, and then it kind of spiraled into a video from there. So again, 9 out of 10. Love that video. Wouldn't change a thing. Yeah, so after that we had the DIY tea making machine, which I can't really call it a DIY tea making machine because it doesn't make tea. If anything, it just drops a tea bag into your mug. I do plan expanding on that still. It's just one of those things that's kind of cooking in the back of my head. But yeah, that video alone, 8 out of 10. I like that video. I think it was pretty interesting. I got to call out some YouTubers for doing a subpar job in my opinion, although I did a subpar job in my opinion. So the video that came out after that was the DIY bubble machine, which still works to this day. We still use it on the live stream, and people love to use it, and like they love to spray it all over my keyboard, which just makes my keyboard very sticky. And in one case, David ended up just spraying it into my armpit. Thank you, David. That was not appreciated. Did I give... It's one of those videos that I can't really give a very high score to because I didn't do a lot for it. All I really did was buy a bubble machine, hook up a motor driver, and connect an ESP32 to it, and then stuck it on the jar with a little hinge mechanism, and that's kind of it. Which, yeah, I'd give that video a 6.5 because I don't think it deserves a 7. But yeah, I still use it. It still works great. If you join one of my live streams, you might be able to have a go, or see somebody else have a go because it's Patreon exclusive. After that came the DIY GPS Speedometer video, which I do want to make a version 2 of, mostly because I had a few people suggest some really interesting ideas in the comments around using it for like top speed detection, offline run tracker, stuff like that. So yeah, maybe I'll come back to it and do a better version. I'd give that video a 7 because I got to enjoy some bike rides. One of them was on a very windy day and a tree fell over. I wasn't there to see it, but I saw the aftermath. Okay, so after that came the DIY 3D scanning rotary table, which was just a piece of shit. That's a straight 3 out of 10 video, just because like I ended up taking it apart pretty much as soon as I put it together. I got it to work with one scan and then no other scans. So like the video, the scan I showed in the video was the only one that I managed to get that looked decent, and I could not figure out why, so I ended up just taking it apart. It was also a little bit rushed because pretty much right after that video, that was when we moved to the other place. We had to move twice this year, not fully in our control unfortunately, but I don't want to talk too much about it. And then right after that, we had the RFID PC login, which, yeah, so in the time span between the last video and this video and that video, we moved twice, so that wasn't fun. So both of those videos were a little rushed, but honestly, I think it was a fine video. It performed fine, I guess better than average, but whatever. Yeah, it was just an interesting concept. I don't use it on the daily, and I've already disassembled it because, oh my god, are those, what was it, the Arduino Pro Micro? Why are they so expensive? They're like 12-13 pounds each. Ow. So yeah, I ended up just disassembling it, mostly because like I don't want to use it at home. There was a huge vulnerability in that if somebody plugged it into their computer, they could just download my password because it was stored in plain text. So that's not great. In the future, I'll probably just get something like a Windows Hello camera. But for now, I just type in my password like a regular person. Video number, I'd give it a... It's a hard one. I give it a 6. 6 is fine. Okay, then we had the silly string dispenser. Just no. I mean, again, it was one of those videos where like it's super easy to make because I just made a mount that attaches to a servo that attaches to an ESP8266 and then flushed it with Home Assistant, and that was pretty much it. And like it worked fine. The main issue with it was the fact that like how quickly you go through those cans of silly string, because like you hold it down, it's basically all gone. So, and like just doing it a bit at a time is not really fun. and also with like no aiming or anything like that. Yeah, so I think we used it for like one live stream, and then we just ended up running out of cans. And because the cans are like £3 something, can't remember, it was like close to £4. I was like, geez, this is absolutely not worth it unless these are like donation activated. But yeah, so I took those apart and recycled the parts. After that, we had Open Source 2024. This isn't actually the live stream. This is the cat down version video, which I've not released. I might release at some point. But yeah, it's like an hour long. But yeah, if you don't know Dan Gears Code and Fire on YouTube, he is an absolutely amazing person. Another one of those people that I need to thank just for being an awesome person. He paid for the Airbnb, my flights, and honestly most of the food as well, like, and the tickets for Open Source, which I honestly cannot thank him enough. That is an insane amount of money to spend on a person that you've never met in person before. But yeah, that was, thank you, Dan. I honestly cannot thank you enough. That is an experience that I'm probably not going to get anytime soon again. And if it does ever happen where I actually can afford to go to Open Source, I will pay for your tickets if I can. But yeah, again, thank you. You are, again, an amazing friend. I really hope we get to do a live stream at your place one day, just because okay, we've had this planning for a while, but eventually I will go down back to to Dan's place, and we will do a live stream where it's basically just gonna be unrestricted chaos, because we will be, I don't know, probably CNCing metal, welding. There'll be probably a lot of fire. We both like a lot of fire, so we'll try to do fire as often as we can. But yeah, hopefully that happens one day. If you'd like that, give me a shout in the comments. The video that came after that was the DIY present sensor, which did insane numbers. 41,000 views. Like, I don't like runaway successes like I've mentioned. That was huge. Like, thank you for everybody who joined after that. Most of you actually did like stay and watch further videos, as far as I can tell. But like, yeah, I love that automation. It still works. Like, I use it every single day, and honestly, it's the one automation I've made that I've had almost zero complaints about. The few complaints that I have had about it is when Wi-Fi disconnects or something like that, or like Home Assistant goes down, because then it stops working, which is a little annoying. But then a lot of things in the house stop working. I'm gonna focus a lot more on having things be vertically integrated, I think is the phrase. I'm not sure. Where they will just work whether Wi-Fi or no Wi-Fi. I'll get to that when I go to the bathroom smart light video. But yeah, video wise, that was gosh, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. That was the first video where I did like proper soldering under the microscope, and everybody was like, "Whoa, that looks so good!" And you'll notice that I'm doing more of those now. Mostly just because I enjoy doing them, but if you guys enjoy watching them, then that's a, double bonus, which is also why I'm working on a nozzle camera for the 3D printer, because some of the shorts that I've posted from that, people are very excited about, and I'm excited to make that video. It's probably going to come out somewhere in the beginning half of the next year. Right, what came after? We had the DIY smart bin video. Okay, so I made that video. I had the automation working for about a month, and then I removed it off the bin because I was like, oh, I can do better. It's not quite as good as I want it to be. And then for like the next 2 or 3 months, I had nothing but complaints because my partner and my flatmate got used to having it. So they were like, please put it back. We want it. It was so good. Like, I have to touch the bin again. I don't want to touch the bin. So, yeah, I put it back. I did recently work on not a part 2, but a version 2. And that ended up being not good. Like, I had to scrap the whole video. And like, I had most of it done, and then I attached it to the bin, and it somewhat worked, but it didn't work well enough to where I was like, this is better than the first version. So you'll notice that I've recently posted some shorts about it, and you'll notice the design is slightly tweaked. That's just because I went back and I adjusted stuff. It's actually no longer like Home Assistant compatible. It can be, but I decided to just get rid of that because we weren't really using it. So yeah, it's like fully self sustaining now. But yeah, great automation. I'd give that video a 7 out of 10. That's fine. And yeah, people like it. They enjoy it. So after that, we had the DIY Smart Kettle video. Right, that one's difficult for me because I thought it was going to be really, really cool, and the idea was somewhat cool. The execution was okay, and then it ended up blowing up like a week after. So I ended up using the wrong gauge wire for the kettle, which is 3000 watts. Americans be jealous. But yeah, so that wasn't fun. Luckily I was in the kitchen when it happened, and like the fuse popped and everything, like everything failed safely, so that's great. But yeah, even I had Joseph tell me after the fact, like, that was stupid, you should have known better. And you know, I learned by failure, so I failed, and now I know to check the wire gauges because damn. But yeah, we didn't end up actually using any of the automations I've had set up for it. The most used thing on the entire kettle was the button that opened the bin, and that was pretty much it. So then I just reverted the back to the cable it came with, and it works just as well as it did before the automation. I give After that, I had the DIY Smart Bathroom Light, which I am 100% doing a version 2 of, mostly because the main issue we have with that light is the Wi-Fi being like slightly out of range. So sometimes it's just like, I don't feel like connecting, and it doesn't. Another issue I have with it is it's just too bright. Like, sometimes you'll go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and like, it will just full on blast you like a flashbang. Just boom! Now you will see everything. And yeah, so I want to make a more, again, integrated version that will kind of just hook onto the light without having to, you know, have to use Wi-Fi and stuff like that. But I also want to use like the new features of the ESPHome's millimeter wave sensor of like fall detection, area detection and stuff like that. So yeah, I will be making a version 2, and it will be cooler, and maybe even I'll turn it into like a somewhat DIY upgrade kit for your bathroom light kind of thing, just because I think it'd be an interesting thing to make. And with, you know, having done my first PCBs now, this is what this box is, by the way. This is my very first PCBs that I've designed, and I'm opening them on my next live stream. I'm excited, and I hope I didn't completely screw this up. Right, I'd give that video a I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I'm giving a lot of my videos a 7 out of 10 because that's how I feel about them, which is kind of where I want my videos, because again, I don't want the whole, whoa, that's an amazing video, I don't want to watch any of your other crap. So yeah, slow and steady. That's where I'm at. Right, the video that came out after that was the one-day game build, which is very undescriptive. But DFRobot sent me a Uni Hiker, which is basically a Raspberry Pi with a touchscreen, and you can program it to do stuff. Yeah, I just kind of made it into a game that I saw somebody play, and it worked fine. Well, actually, I fully made it on one day, and then I had to get my partner and roommate to react to like playing it on the next day, just because like they weren't available or whatever. But yeah, so technically a 2-day project, even though it says 1 day. I mean, I built it in 1 day. The video took longer. We never account for how long the video takes to make. I'd give that video a 4 out of 10. It's meh. Right, the video that came out after that was the DIY Detergent Dispenser version 3. Boy, I'm tired of rehashing that video. And so it seems as everyone else, because they get less and less views every time. And Yeah, I'm not gonna make another one just because it's the same thing, just with a slightly different washing machine. What I want to do next, I do want to make some washing machine videos in the future. What I want to specifically make is an open source washing machine, where like you can replace most of the electronics and just have it do its own thing. Like theoretically, I could have a washing machine that has like some kind of vibration compensation or whatever, or like a washing machine that can run only for as long as it takes to wash the clothes. So like it can like check the dirtiness of the water, and it won't stop until it's actually like clean, which would like maybe reduce cycles for how long it has to wash and stuff like that. But yeah, interesting concept. Video review score, I'd give it a 5 because it's honestly fine. It's just fine. Mellow Lab Smart Mug, available now on mellowlabs.uk. The next video that came out after that was the easiest way to add sounds to your project, which is a DF Robot little MP3 player that you can just program with sounds and it will play them. Honestly, it's a great product. I do think they kind of skimped out a little on the documentation side. The fact that I had to write my own code was kind of crappy, and I've had a whole bunch of comments since then on my GitHub repository or in the comments of the video, just saying like, hey, thank you for this video, because like I bought it thinking that it would be easy to implement, but there was nothing from DF Robot that would actually make it work easily. So like, can you make, some of them suggested that I should like get DF Robot to post this video on the product page. I've not messaged them about it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I haven't decided. But honestly, it's a good product. It just needs a little more loving. It's just very easy to implement. I'd give that video, I'd give it a 7 out of 10 just because it's a fine video. It's more of a product showcase than anything, which is why I've got it branded as Mellow Reviews. But yeah, it's a fine product. It just needs a little bit more love on the documentation and programming side. But yeah, it's, again, still good product. Right after that, we had the DIY Smart Pumpkin with lights and smoke effects. Yeah, I don't like that one. That one just fucking sucked. In all honesty, that one is just a piece of shit. So, I got a millimeter wave sensor from DF Robot for it, and unfortunately it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. For some reason it didn't really work at all. So like I wanted it to detect how close someone was, and it would like get more aggressive the closer you got to it, with, you know, eventually just like smoke and lights and sounds coming out of it. But I had to pivot to using a ultrasonic distance sensor, and that just didn't work. So yeah, also we did a live stream for the pumpkin carving, and because I completely changed the dates for what I did on my live streams, so I changed it to a Sunday, and I think we started at like 4 p.m, which was a very odd time for anybody. So like the live stream was incredibly quiet, and like basically zero interaction with people, which yeah, just added to the crappiness. So that entire project has just been doomed in my mind. So yeah, I give that video, that was a 20-minute video? How the fuck did I get 20 minutes out of that? God damn. Okay, wow. Just wow. Yeah, I give that video a 2 out of 10. It's awful, don't watch it. Right after that, we had the DIY Ultrasonic Humidifier video, which again did a lot better than expected, considering it took me like less than a day to like record. It only took me like a few hours, and like the whole video was done, and then I just did the editing. But like, I mean, I'm grateful that people like that kind of content. I don't know if I love making that kind of content, because again, it's very easy to make and very quick to make, and it kind of, again, devalues some of the other projects I've done. But yeah, I'm not gonna do a lot more like this, maybe to like fill in a gap here and there, but like having, or if I find something particularly interesting, but like having a project that's just like, you can do this in like half an hour, done, and then that be the video. Video wise, it's actually fine. I go back and watch it a couple times since then just to like kind of understand. And yeah, it's a good video. I give it a solid 7. 7's good. Then after that we had the DIY USB-C upgrade, and I've had a lot of people tell me that like they didn't realize how easy it was to upgrade stuff to USB-C, and I've been upgrading stuff to USB-C all over the place now. I've done my soldering iron, I've done my label maker, and there's a couple things that I have on my list as well. But like with just those power delivery modules, they're just so easy. In most cases, they take up as much space as the barrel jack connector. So you just remove that, put one of those in, and it works pretty much exactly the same, which is just mint. I'd give that video a solid 7 out of 10, just because, again, it's a good video. Okay, we are now on the final video of the year, which was the DIY smart laundry sensor. Honestly, again, it was just one of those videos that was an interesting concept, and it's performing really well. Again, I'd give it a solid 7, just because I think it's an interesting concept, if anything. But like, I've had a lot of comments be like, hey, this is pretty interesting, I can't wait for version 2. But also they've added some constructive feedback on like what could be done better, or like how it could be better integrated. I do still use it. I hung up my laundry earlier today, and the only thing I've changed since the video published is instead of putting the pins on top, I put them at the bottom, because the way stuff dries, it's actually wetter at the bottom, so it actually gives you a more accurate drying time, I guess. But yeah, that's it. That's all of my videos. How many is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 22, 23, 24. 24 videos. That makes sense because I post twice a month, and there's 2 months. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's been an amazing year. I really do hope 2025 is even better, and I have a lot of cool project ideas that I do want to come to fruition. And yeah, in general, I've just been feeling a lot better. I've been treating YouTube a lot more like a job, especially like since the sponsorship, where it's kind of like a steady-ish income. I've been treating YouTube a lot more like a job to avoid the burnout that I've heard so much about from the YouTubers that came before. So like I work from 9 to 5, and then after that I play games or do whatever. But like, yeah, 9 to 5, I work on the YouTube stuff, whether it's projects, editing, thumbnails, whatever. I only do that from 9 to 5, and then after that I do whatever I want. And I've been very good at trying to keep a routine. Like, I've been eating healthier, I exercise in the mornings now. I turn off my computer and my phone at 8 p.m. and then I go to, then I basically go to bed, and I write in my journal, I read a book, and then I go to sleep, and then I wake up and I do the same thing again. And it's that kind of routine that is something I needed for a long time, because like, being able to work from home, you're able to like wake up, go to your computer, start working on something, and work all the way up to like midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and then you can only do that so many times before being like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. And I don't want to do that. I want to avoid that. So as much as I am treating it as like a job, even though it is my hobby, yeah, honestly, it's been great. And again, I cannot thank you all enough for just watching and being here, supporting me, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and just all of the above. Thank you all. And here's to a hopefully much better 2025. Thank you again. Wow, that was perfectly timed with my tea.